the Art and Industry of Business and Living podcast, discussing conscious choices around business, money, life and living, and creating a greater future for you and the planet. Hey everybody, welcome to the Art and Industry of Business and Living. Living.
Who's living out there?
Living.
Are you living or just have a life?
Exactly. What if you start to live instead of just having a life? A life is boring. Living, well, it's the adventure of living. So you are here, of course, with me, moi, Simone Milasas, and the wonderful, amazing, adorable Mr. Christopher Hughes.
Little old me.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be here. I love these conversations with you. I love finding out what we can discover, what we can uncover, and where we'll go today.
Well, we're actually in Costa Rica at the moment, and Christopher is my sort of semi-roomie because we have these single rooms each, but they've got an adjoining door. So we pretty much just keep the adjoining door open most of the time, 90% of the time, because we happen to like each other.
Yep.
And Christopher's a man.
Really?
Yeah, you're a man.
Oh, cool. I thought because I was gay, I wasn't a man.
No, you're a man.
Oh, good. Awesome.
You're like all man. Actually, let's tell a funny story. I remember when Christopher was actually my flatmate in Brisbane, Australia years ago. I used to live with this girl in Sydney, Australia, and she had these friends of hers who were gay guys who would come around and they would do our hair and they would blow dry it and they would spend hours doing it. So when I moved in with Chris, I went, hey, are you one of those gay guys that can like blow dry hair?
And I had to say, no.
You're
but
like,
I might be able to fix the lawnmower.
Yeah, you're like, I can do the plumbing. I can do something like that. But yeah, I'm more of a man. So anyway, I have a telecall coming up. I'm going to go straight to it. It's called I Need a Man, and it starts on the 7th of November, Australia, 7th of November. So work it out. But you can go to my website, SimoneMilasas.com. You can also go to accessconsciousness.com, and it's simply just called I Need a Man.
And when I first saw a poster or a graphic somewhere for this telecall you've got coming out, I lost it laughing. I thought that was the most genius, brilliant, fabulous thing I'd seen. And what I loved especially about it is you don't go into any kind of really in-depth description of what it is. You just call it like it is with that one line. Because how many people out there are sitting with that as their basic point of view?
Oh, it's brought up so much stuff. And, you know, we're at a 7-day class in Costa Rica at the moment with Gary Douglas and Dr. Dan here facilitating. And Gary's daughter, Shannon Ahara, said to me today, she went, when you got up the other day and made an announcement, she said, you pulled so much energy. And when you said, I need a man, she said, I honestly thought you were standing up going, I need a man.
Like any sign-ups? Like who's coming along?
But there was one guy, there's lots of men who sort of like, you know, looked at me with this like, what? And the one guy was like, I don't know, 3 rows at the front or something, stood up and he went, yes. It's like,
well, that's the basic point of view, though, of a man, though, is you say, I need this done. And they go, okay, great. Thank you for giving me clarity on what it is you require. Now I can deliver.
Yeah, I was with a friend of mine recently and we were talking about how, you know, the joke, the general consensus you can say to a man is, you know, fix it, kill it, or mount it sort of thing. And I was talking to him about something and I looked at him and he went, hey, you don't need to fix me. I went, I'm good. And he went, so we had this deal that when I'm talking to him, I go, don't need fixing. And then he goes, do I fix it? Do I fix anything now? Do I need to find something now? And I'm like, no, not yet. No, I'm good. So like in a conversation, because quite often a woman will just, you know, desire to chat about something and the man's looking for, what have I got to do here? What have I got to fix here? What have I got to, you know, clean up or whatever that is. The running joke at home is, I mean, I'm, you know, single living in a house on my own and I am so not one of those women who can go and like, you know, screw things in and do all that. Could I? Probably
you could work it out.
But you know what? I need a man. So the big joke is too that the guys that I'm friends with that live around locally, I always ring them and go, hey, I need a man. And I was like,
can you come help?
Yeah, I need a man. I actually said I need a man with a shifter. But I found out the other day that Americans don't know what a shifter is.
No, I'm Canadian originally and I don't know what a shifter is.
It's a wrench.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a shifter.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. So a wrench. So basically I was saying I need a man with a wrench.
I feel like that's one of those words that you should be careful with because a shifter in other countries might have some other weird connotation that you don't know.
It could. But the one thing I've noticed is, I mean, I talk about this a lot in our book, Relationship, Are You Sure You Want One? And different classes that Brendan and I do, Relationship Done Different. And I will talk about it in my 3-part series Zoom of I Need a Man there's 2 pieces here. I see women do this thing of going, I need a man, and there's this place of desperateness that if they don't have a man, that they are less than. And I would like to destroy and uncreate all of those points of view and get people to realize that just because you're not in a relationship, just because you might not have a quote-unquote man in your life at the moment, it doesn't mean that you need one. It should be a choice and not something that you have to necessitate. And the other piece of this is, too, I see women who do this thing of going, I don't need a man. And it's like, oh my goodness, if you look at the men around you, and like you said, it's like how much they actually desire to gift. And I mean, years and years ago, I was on a plane with a friend of mine and I was trying to get my bag out up the top. And he looked at me and he went, Simone, do you realize that if you let me help you, I will move mountains for you? And at that moment, I was like, damn. And I realized that if I was willing to actually let my barriers down and ask him for help, not that I needed it, but ask him for help so that he could contribute, that level of receiving was so uncomfortable for me. But I also realized that I would like to explore that place of being so uncomfortable and receiving. It doesn't mean that I'm less than. So it's sort of like this flip side. I need a man because I'm less than without one, or I need a man, but I will never ask for anything because then that means that I'm less than. And it's like, what if you had no point of view? What if you were in interesting point of view about it? And what if you're willing to receive?
And the other thing I want to say about that too is what I love about this for you doing it as well is of all the people that I know, you're probably the most qualified to facilitate a class of this title because I've always been amazed how you have surrounded yourself or been willing to surround yourself with a number of kind, caring, capable men who would like to contribute to you.
Yeah.
And a lot of women, and not just women, because I don't think this class is just limited to women.
No, it's not. Oh, no, not at all.
Yeah,
no.
who are out there going, I need a man.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people out there who probably look at your life and go, how does she do it? How does she manage to have these people in her life? And I think you really just hit on it. It's the willingness to actually receive it and receive the contribution. And your point of view of men is not that they are horrible, mean, useless, insensitive, all the sort of negative stereotypes that most people would make about that particular gender, which has always been a gift. You have always, from my point of view, you're talking about receiving, them being willing to carry, like move a bag for you or do whatever. But from my point of view, what's so amazing about you as your friend is you're willing to honor me and have allowance for me for who I am. And being a man is part of that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I really, I just want to explore this little piece here. And this is something I know I'll be talking about in the 3-part series soon, but here's a taster, is the willingness to receive from all the different men. Because it's true, I've got like about 7 men in my life that I would say, I joke around and say like they're my husbands for various reasons, or they gift me things in various ways. But it's the willingness to not have any projections or expectations of what that is. And even when I was in relationship with Brendan for 8 years, I didn't expect something of him that he did not desire to deliver. It's like I got that from other men. I mean, I remember one birthday I had and I got home and, Brendan definitely was, available to do different things. Like, he would be romantic, spontaneously every now and then and gift me some incredible things. Like he was very kind. But something like a birthday, he hates birthdays, so he doesn't see that as anything special. And I'm like, I actually like to be treated like a princess. And I got home one day from traveling and on the dining room table, you and Nash, my stepson, got this candy and flowers, and you'd done this big heart out of this candy and the rose petals and stuff like that. And as soon as I walked in the house, I knew Brendan hadn't done it. But it was fine. It didn't matter. It was like there was still this beautiful candy, rose petal heart that you and Nash put together for me for arriving home, and it would be my birthday, etc. It didn't have to come from Brendan. I wasn't making Brendan less than because he didn't do it. And you guys weren't right because you did it. I was just so grateful to have that energy in my life and have that contribution to me, however that showed up.
Right. It's an awful lot of pressure on somebody when you are expected to fulfill every role that a person needs in their life. It's like, no. I mean, I have a relationship. I'm married, and my partner and I, we live together, obviously. Well, not obviously. I know married couples that don't live together, and that's what works for them. But we live together, and we run a business together. And we end up spending an extraordinary amount of time together, and it works. However, I never expect him to be in my life what, say, you can be.
Yeah.
Like the conversations we can have around consciousness and awareness aren't that interesting to him.
Yeah, whereas we'll talk about that for ages, or we'll explore something, or go, can you help me with something? And we'll like break something apart so that we can have more clarity and more awareness on what that is.
But so I never expect that of him.
Yeah.
And then he and I can totally geek out about art and design in a way that I don't think you would actually enjoy talking about. No. So I don't expect that of you.
Yeah. And we just recently discovered, we've been friends for a very long time, and we just recently discovered a new capacity that we have with each other, and that's helping each other spend money.
Yes. Oh, my goodness. We were just in Rome, Italy, and we were there a couple days early before our seminar started, and we had some fun there in Rome. There's some good shopping.
Druzy, who is also, I would look at him, he's one of my husbands, which is your husband.
Yep.
And he has helped me shop a lot. Sometimes I'm too busy to shop. I really am. I get really busy, but I go, I need another handbag. I need a blue handbag. I need this. And Druzy's gone around Rome taking photos and sending them to me saying, what about this one, this one, this one? And he's brought me some beautiful handbags from choosing like that. And so he's sort of been like my... one of his capacities that I have been willing to receive is like a personal shopper. I know he's also helped Brennan out for years buying birthday presents for me.
Yes.
It's like, I'd get a birthday present from Brennan and go, oh yeah, that's a Druzy.
Yeah.
But still, it didn't matter. It's like...
No, exactly.
It was beautiful. It was like, Chanel, wallet and this beautiful scarf, etc. And it's like, I know Brennan didn't pick it out, but even the point that he went and asked Druzy to help, and then that occurred, it's like you've got to receive it all. No expectations and no projections. So all the projections and expectations and judgments, rejections and separations you have of what a man should be for you, and this is not just for women, as Chris said, this is for everyone, women and men. And all of that we destroy and uncreate it, times a gazillion, right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all names, shorts, boys and beyonds. There is no judgment in receiving. You just receive.
Yep, and never expected to look a certain way. We were here in this class in Costa Rica, and Gary Douglas, the founder of Access, gave an example from a money class that he did years ago. And a woman after the class was annoyed, saying, I didn't get anything out of this money class. My money situation is basically the same. And he went, really? What has changed for you since that class? And she went, oh, well, I got 2 months rent-free in a really beautiful house, and I got a car, and this woman gave me a whole wardrobe of designer clothes because she gained too much weight to wear them. And he went, okay, so maybe it doesn't look like, and receiving money in your life doesn't look like what you think. Same thing for having a man in your life. It's not, a man isn't going to arrive on a white horse and gallop in with shimmery blonde hair and a set of big pecs and a six-pack. Maybe it's going to look totally different, that if you opened yourself up to receive it however it arrives, you could have a whole lot more fun and a whole different possibility than the one you think you're supposed to receive.
Absolutely. So everywhere that you're trying to think yourself into receiving, where you destroy and uncreate it, right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all names, shorts, boys and beyonds. Yeah, and receive it however it shows up. I mean, David Kubis, he's I love hanging out with David Kubis. He's our international lawyer. He's based in Austria, travels around. But some of my breakfasts, like when I have with him when we're staying at various hotels, are some of the most intelligent, inspiring, creative conversations. Now, if I expected that from someone that I was living with, having sex with, creating wealth with, like all of these different things, it's like it's unkind to actually expect that of someone to fulfill everything that you would like to fulfill. And right now, it's like if you are in a relationship or you have, men around you, etc., it's like, what if you could expand out and go, well, what else is possible? Like, what other energies are available that you've not yet asked for? I mean, even, I don't know, today it's like Shannon O'Hara's husband, Max, he's great at foot massage. And I was like, Max, can you give me a foot massage? It's like, so why not? It's like, what if you actually received? So what if I Need a Man was about receiving in ways that you have not yet discovered. And the fun thing is discovering different ways to receive is the place where you have to function from a level of vulnerability and possibilities and not from the rightness of your point of view and not going to the wrongness of you. It's like, hey, what's up? What's going on? And ask. What are you willing to ask for?
Yeah, and what would you be willing to receive?
What would you be willing to receive?
Exactly.
I mean,
and honestly, like I've known a lot of people who've been pining for a partner.
I know. I never understood the pining for a partner. And if you are pining for a partner, it's like, ask. It's like, what are you pining for a partner for?
Yeah, and you're not wrong. Like when I met my husband, I was asking for the Oscar Wildes of my generation to find me. Not Oscar Wilde, the Oscar Wildes, whoever and how many ever had that energy where what was important to them or what they were interested in was beauty and art and expression and creativity, and because those are the things that mean something to me.
Yeah.
And I didn't actually care if that was going to be a sexual partner or a romantic partner or whatever, but I was just looking around my life and looking around all of the people that I was meeting and going, wow, there's got to be something more than this. I am not interested in talking about Britney Spears. I need something more than that intellectually. And this person came along, and we actually met on a dating app. And his first line to me was, "You're a dickhead. You don't know what you want." And I went, wow, that's so funny. And we ended up chatting and chatting and chatting and chatting and chatting. And he did match this energy
totally.
of what I was looking for.
Totally. I mean, you guys come to my house for dinner or something and you look at everything. You like turn it around. You look at the hallmarks of things and you Google stuff and, and you so enjoy talking about the elegance and the beauty of things in the world that exist and what else you can bring into existence. It's wonderful to see you guys.
Yeah.
So, and I want to, you briefly mentioned something, and I'd like to touch on this as well, is if you are in a relationship or you're looking to create a relationship as well, you've really got to destroy and uncreate all of your projections and expectations of what the copulation, sex and copulation is. Because I see a lot of people too. Like at one stage, I remember when I was with Brendan, someone said, God, I wish that there was another Brendan. Like, do you have a brother? Do you have this? And Brendan looked at her because he knew her quite well. And he went, you wouldn't want to date me. He goes, I don't hold hands in public. I don't cuddle. I don't, do this, this, and this.
And I snore so damn loud, you're probably going to want me to sleep in another room.
Exactly. Oh, you know what? I just realized she ended up marrying someone who snores really, really loudly. So she created part of that.
Yeah, that is funny.
Yeah, but you have this, you see someone and you're with them, and then if you sort of like, to hold hands in public or you like to cuddle, but they don't, it's like, then you have to be an allowance of what they don't desire to do and be. And it's like, find someone else to cuddle on the couch if you need to. Like, I mean, it was funny with Nash and Brendan, because Nash as a kid would love to cuddle. So he'd always jump on the couch with me and cuddle, and Brendan would go, there you go, you've got someone to cuddle.
You got a man to cuddle.
It's a little
He's just 7.
different. But anyway,
But Gary Douglas has said that for years. I've always heard him say most women need at least 3 to 4 men in their lives to make things work.
I have about 8.
Exactly. Yeah. Greedy guts. That's what I love about you.
Am I greedy or am I smart?
You're bloody smart.
Yeah.
Hey, one other thing about this telecall that I wanted to bring up that really sparked something in me when I saw your advertisement of it was, as I say, the title, I Need a Man. I think there is something so incredibly genius in calling things as they are and identifying where people are really sitting and addressing it. You know, see, my background also is in marketing, and I love sales and marketing. It's one of my favorite things. And so often people try to package a product or touch their intended audience by being what they think they want to hear.
Right.
And you're not delivering that. And I think it is so genius. You're actually addressing what is real and true for people, not what they're trying to pretend is real and true for them. And I was telling you as well, when I was a kid, I remember watching this movie. It came out, I think, in 1990 with Dudley Moore, and it's called Crazy People. And Dudley Moore plays this advertising executive who gets put away in the loony bin because he's too stressed or whatever. And he ends up seeing all these crazy people and going, they're not that crazy. Like, they actually are quite cool. And he gets them starting to make advertising. And like they do this big advertising poster for the city of New York for tourism saying, New York, we had less murders last year. Metamucil, it helps you go to the toilet.
Right.
And things like that are brilliant. Direct, and they address what actually is. So I've actually stolen this from you in some of the things that I'm creating in the next while. I went, oh, that's genius.
Right.
I love how she's just, boom, hit the nail on the head.
Well, yes, I did just hit the nail on the head. And the funny thing is, some people got irritated because they were some people, even people I work with, were like, I don't need a man. And they got defensive. And I was like, well, what are you trying to defend? And it's like, so the women out there or the people out there who are like, no, that's not me. I don't need a man. But yet you just like...
what are you fighting against?
Yeah, what are you fighting against? And it's like, and what are you fighting for? And it's like, people go, my independence. I'm sorry. And it's like, what if you ask to receive? What if we create a level of contribution on this planet that has not yet been, actualized? That's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
So I Need a Man has poked a lot of bears, and I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, funny. I mean, it's true. No one needs anyone or anything, but why would you refuse contribution from 50% of the world's population?
Exactly. Yeah. So we're going to discover what this is all about. Well, you, me, everyone. It's starting on the 7th of November. You can check it out on my website, SimoneMilasas.com, and also on accessconsciousness.com. Now, Mr. Christopher Hughes, what have you got coming up in November?
November, I have a telecall coming up that is yet to be posted, so you'll have to stay tuned on my website.
Well, this is coming out on the 29th of October.
Okay, great. Well, then we should be good. My website is mrchristopherhughes.com.au, and I've got a telecall coming out called Creating Wealth Outside Your Comfort Zone.
I like that. Don't forget the AU there, mrchristopherhughes.com.au.
Yes.
Because he's a Canadian being an Aussie. He's an Aussie now.
I'm a polar bear married to a kangaroo.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I love it.
And then I've got quite a bit coming up next year, January, February, March. This has been a huge year for me and a lot of fun, a big adventure. Next year, I've got an even bigger year with more places on the map.
Yeah, you really have taken the art and industry of business and living to a new realm, and I'm very happy and very proud of you, Chris, and everything that you've been creating around the world, because you just keep moving forward and you keep asking for greater. And to me, that's what this is all about, and that's why I do these podcasts as well, is to hopefully inspire at least one person out there that can start to ask for something more and choose something greater today, not tomorrow, not mañana, not domani. Today. It's
Simone,
like start right now.
You are an inspiration to me every day.
Thank you, Mr. ChristopherHughes.com.au.
You're welcome.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining me here this evening in Costa Rica. And if you like this podcast, please, 5-star, do all that stuff, write a review, send it to your friends, family, foe, whatever floats your boat.
Exactly.
So, all right, thanks everyone. Bye-bye.